Most adults over 60 ignore this subtle warning sign until it is too late. The way your shoes wear down is telling you a story about your future mobility. You might think it is just a worn-out heel, but for your body, it is a structural red flag. Every step you take is a complex mechanical interaction between bone, muscle, and ground. As we age, the fatty padding under our feet begins to thin. This natural process acts like the tread on a tire wearing down. When that cushioning disappears, every impact travels straight through your ankles, up to your knees, and directly into your spine. This is not just about foot pain. It is about the hidden mechanics of your entire skeleton. We often blame getting older for our aches, but often, the culprit is what we lace up every morning. Why is this critical right now? Because foot health is the silent gatekeeper of your independence. If you cannot walk comfortably, your activity levels drop. When activity drops, cardiovascular health declines, and balance fades. It is a domino effect that starts at the very bottom. Many believe that foot pain is an inevitable part of aging, but medical science tells us a very different story. We are going to explore how your footwear choices directly dictate the speed at which you age. Stick with me, because in the coming minutes, I will reveal the specific features you must look for in a shoe. Features that most major brands ignore. You will learn how to audit your current footwear and why even comfortable sneakers might be doing more harm than good. But first, let's understand exactly what happens to your feet when the clock ticks past 60. Our feet contain 26 bones, 33 joints, and over 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments. They are marvels of biological engineering. By the age of 60, the average person has taken over 100 million steps. That is a massive amount of physical stress. Inside the foot, the arch serves as a shock absorber. In younger years, the connective tissue is elastic and resilient. However, as the decades pass, collagen fibers change. This leads to a flattening of the arch, a condition known as acquired flat foot. This is not just a cosmetic change. It changes your entire gait cycle. Imagine the structure of a house shifting. Eventually, the windows won't close and the doors won't lock. Your knees and hips are those windows and doors. When your arch collapses, your foot rolls inward. A process called pronation. This puts abnormal torque on your knee joint. Many seniors are told they need knee surgery, yet if they had addressed their footwear alignment years earlier, the pressure on those joints could have been drastically reduced. The surprising part is that this process is often painless at first. You don't feel the damage happening. You just feel tired after a walk. That tiredness is the first signal that your musculoskeletal system is working overtime to compensate for poor alignment. We need to identify these signals before they turn into chronic inflammation. The question remains: how do we know if our feet are already suffering from this silent decline? Let's look at the daily indicators that you might be missing. Let's talk about the bathroom test. The first few steps you take in the morning provide the most honest feedback about your foot health. If you feel a sharp, stinging sensation in your heel or the arch of your foot immediately upon standing, that is a classic symptom of plantar fasciitis, the inflammation of the thick band of tissue that connects your heel to your toes. Many people wait until this becomes a stabbing pain that prevents them from walking. But there are more subtle signs. Do you notice calluses or corns developing? These are not just skin issues. They are localized pressure maps. If you have a callus on the side of your big toe, your shoe is likely too narrow. If you have them on the ball of your foot, your shoe lacks enough cushioning or your gait is shifting your weight forward too aggressively. Another indicator is balance. Try standing on one leg while brushing your teeth. If you find yourself wobbling uncontrollably or reaching for the sink, your proprioception, your body's ability to sense its position in space, has been compromised. Often, this is a direct result of wearing shoes with thick, squishy soles that numb the sensory input your feet receive from the ground. Your brain needs to feel the floor to keep you stable. If your shoes feel like walking on sponges, you are essentially blindfolding your feet. You are trading stability for comfort, and that is a dangerous gamble as you age. But who is at the highest risk for these issues? Let's examine the factors that make some individuals more vulnerable than others. Risk is not distributed equally. Certain factors make foot decline move much faster for some than others. If you have a history of diabetes, even slightly elevated blood sugar levels, your foot health becomes a high-priority medical issue. High glucose levels can damage the nerves in your feet, leading to a condition called peripheral neuropathy. This means you might step on a pebble or suffer a blister and not feel it at all. For a senior, an unnoticed blister can lead to infections that become life-altering very quickly. Another high-risk group includes those who have spent decades in occupations requiring standing on hard surfaces, nurses, teachers, or retail workers. Years of compression on the heel pad often result in fat pad atrophy. Think of the fat pad as the shock-absorbing jelly under your heel bone. Once that layer thins, the bone is practically grinding against the shoe's insole. You also need to consider your family history. If your parents developed bunions or severe foot deformities, your genetic structure makes you predisposed to similar issues. However, genes are not destiny. While you cannot change your bone structure, you can change your environment. Starting with the gear you put on your feet, it is not about buying the most expensive, orthopedic shoe. It is about buying the right shoe for your specific anatomy. We often see people spending hundreds of dollars on custom inserts, yet they put them into shoes that have no structural integrity. It is like putting a high-performance engine in a car with a rusted frame. We will discuss the specific, non-negotiable features of a safe shoe, but first, we must address what you should be doing right now to support your feet at home. Daily maintenance is the cheapest insurance policy for your mobility. You don't need a medical degree to improve your foot health today. It starts with a simple habit: foot mobilization. Most of us go from bed to slippers to shoes without ever waking up our feet. Take 2 minutes before getting out of bed. Spread your toes as wide as you can. Then, try to curl them. If you cannot move your toes independently, it is a sign of stiffness. Follow this with ankle circles. Rotate your ankles clockwise and counterclockwise 10 times each. This improves blood flow to the joint capsule, which gets stiff overnight. Next, let's look at the tennis ball release. Place a tennis ball or a firm massage ball under the arch of your foot while you are sitting in a chair. Roll it back and forth, applying gentle pressure. This helps break up adhesions in the fascia, the connective tissue that keeps your foot mobile. If you have been wearing restrictive footwear, your fascia is likely tight and inelastic. This practice will feel uncomfortable, but it is a necessary discomfort. It is clearing the clutter of tension. Combine this with daily calf stretches. A tight calf muscle pulls on your heel bone and prevents your foot from flexing properly. If your calf is tight, your arch will inevitably collapse. A simple wall stretch, done for 30 seconds on each leg, can change your walking mechanics for the entire day. Now, let's pivot to the most important part of this guide: the mechanics of a truly supportive shoe. When you walk into a shoe store, you are often overwhelmed by marketing terms: maximalist cushioning, energy return, propulsion tech. Ignore all of that. Most of these features are designed for high-performance athletes in their 20s, not for the structural needs of a 60-plus individual. A shoe for a senior needs 3 specific things: a firm heel counter, a wide toe box, and a low-to-the-ground profile. First, the heel counter. This is the back part of the shoe that cups your heel. Take the shoe in your hand and try to squeeze the back of the heel. If it collapses easily, put it back on the shelf. You need a firm, rigid structure there to prevent your ankle from rolling inward. Second, the toe box. Look at your own foot. Your toes are widest at the tips, right? Most shoes are shaped like a triangle, forcing your big toe toward the center of your foot. This is how bunions are created. You need a shoe that is rounded at the front, allowing your toes to splay out naturally. When your toes splay, you have a wider base of support, which immediately improves your balance. Third, the profile. Avoid shoes with rocker bottoms or extremely thick, cushioned soles unless specifically prescribed by a podiatrist for a diagnosed condition. These shoes disconnect you from the ground, making it harder for your brain to calculate balance. You want a sole that is relatively thin and flexible enough to allow for natural movement. Think of it as being able to feel the surface you are walking on. This tactile feedback is what keeps you steady on uneven surfaces like grass or gravel. But even with the right shoe, people make common mistakes that ruin their progress. What are they? One of the biggest mistakes I see is the hand-me-down, or worn-out shoe syndrome. We love our old favorites. We think that because a pair of sneakers was expensive or comfortable 5 years ago, it is still good. But foam, the material that makes up the midsole of most shoes, has a shelf life. It compresses and loses its ability to rebound. Once that material degrades, your shoe is essentially a dead weight that offers zero protection. You should track your shoe mileage. A good pair of walking shoes usually lasts between 400 and 500 miles. If you walk 2 miles a day, those shoes are done in about 8 months. Another mistake is size. Our feet change as we age. The ligaments stretch, and the foot actually widens and gets longer. Many people are wearing the same shoe size they wore in their 40s. Go to a professional shoe fitter and get your feet measured at the end of the day when they are at their most swollen. You will be surprised to find you might be a half or full size larger than you think. A shoe that is too tight is a leading cause of numbness and circulatory issues. Furthermore, stop shopping for shoes in the morning. Your feet expand throughout the day. If you buy a shoe at 10 a.m., it will be tight by 4 p.m. Always shop in the late afternoon. And a quick note on slippers. Never walk around the house in soft, flimsy slippers without back support. They provide zero protection and cause more trips and falls in the home than almost anything else. If you are at home, wear a supportive indoor shoe. Your living room floor is just as hard as the sidewalk, and your feet need the same care indoors as they do outdoors. When should you stop trying to fix this at home and see a specialist? If you have persistent pain that does not improve after 2 weeks of using better footwear and simple stretches, see a podiatrist. But there are red flag symptoms that require an immediate appointment. If you experience redness, warmth, or swelling in one foot but not the other, this can indicate an infection or an inflammatory issue that needs professional diagnosis. If you have diabetes, even a small, non-healing cut or a corn that won't go away is an emergency. Do not wait for it to get better on its own. Another sign is a change in the shape of your foot that happens suddenly, such as a bump developing on the side of your big toe that is causing pain. This could be the start of a bone deformity that is easier to manage early on. Also, if you find your shoes are wearing out in a drastically uneven pattern. For instance, if the outer edge of your heel is completely gone while the rest of the sole looks new. This is a sign of a significant structural imbalance that a custom orthotic might be able to correct. A podiatrist can perform a gait analysis, watching how you walk to see exactly where your mechanics are failing. They can guide you toward specific exercises that target your weak points. Remember, the goal is to keep you walking for as long as possible. The medical community is increasingly focused on lifestyle medicine, where the focus is on preventing decline rather than treating the end stage. Your choice of footwear is a foundational pillar of that preventative approach. It is not about vanity, it is about longevity. Let's address the role of nutrition. While we talk about shoes, we must also talk about what fuels the tissues inside your feet. Your tendons and ligaments are made of collagen, and as we age, our production of collagen slows down. You can support this through diet. Focus on high-quality proteins, lean meats, fish, beans, and eggs, which provide the amino acids necessary for tissue repair. Vitamin C is also critical because it acts as a cofactor for collagen synthesis. Include plenty of citrus fruits, bell peppers, and berries in your diet. Many seniors also suffer from subclinical dehydration. When you are dehydrated, your fascia loses its elasticity. It becomes dry and brittle, making it more prone to injury and pain. Aim to drink water throughout the day, not just when you are thirsty. Sometimes, the tightness in your feet is simply a sign that your body needs better hydration to keep the connective tissues pliable. Additionally, magnesium-rich foods like leafy greens, almonds, and pumpkin seeds can help prevent the nighttime leg and foot cramps that plague many of us. It is all connected. Your feet are at the end of the chain, so they feel the consequences of nutritional deficiencies just as much as your heart or your brain. By treating your body as a holistic system, you give your feet the resources they need to carry you through your 60s, 70s, and beyond. In the next section, we will look at how to structure a simple, daily walking program that builds strength rather than just adding wear and tear. Walking is the best exercise for longevity, but only if you are walking with correct mechanics. We often walk with a shuffling gait as we age, keeping our feet close to the ground to avoid tripping. This is counterproductive. To strengthen your feet and legs, you need to practice a full gait cycle. This means striking with the heel, rolling through the midfoot, and pushing off with the toes. When you walk, keep your eyes on the horizon, not at your feet. This engages your core and helps your balance system work correctly. Start with shorter walks on varied surfaces. Walking on grass or a flat trail is excellent for building the tiny, stabilizing muscles in your feet that are ignored when you only walk on flat pavement or treadmills. If you feel pain, stop. The no pain, no gain mantra is dangerous for seniors. Instead, try the threshold rule. If your discomfort is below a 3 on a scale of 10, you are likely okay to continue gently. If it hits 4 or higher, back off and give it a day of rest. Use this time to incorporate those ankle mobility exercises we discussed earlier. Strength comes from recovery, not just the activity itself. Your feet are the foundation of your mobility, and they deserve your attention every single day. By making these small adjustments, better shoes, better habits, and conscious walking, you are actively investing in your future freedom. You are not just walking, you are preserving your independence. What have we learned today? We have moved past the myth that foot pain is an unavoidable part of aging. We have identified that your footwear is a powerful, yet often overlooked, tool for managing the structural health of your entire body. From the importance of a rigid heel counter and a wide toe box, to the warning signs of internal foot pressure and the role of daily mobilization, you now have a roadmap for better mobility. You understand that your shoes are not just clothing, they are medical devices that you wear for 14 hours a day. If you take anything away from this, let it be this. Listen to your feet. They are sending you signals constantly. Whether it is a small callus, a slight ache in the morning, or the way your shoes wear down, these are not just minor inconveniences. They are opportunities to correct your course before a small problem becomes a major injury. You don't need a massive change in your lifestyle to see a difference. Start by auditing your current shoes today. Toss the ones that have lost their structure. Schedule a time to have your feet properly measured. Incorporate 2 minutes of foot stretches into your morning routine. These simple, consistent actions compound over time, leading to healthier joints, better balance, and sustained independence. You have the power to influence how your body ages, and it starts from the ground up. As we wrap up, I want you to remember that your health is a journey, not a destination. It is built on thousands of small decisions you make every single day. Taking care of your feet is one of the most proactive things you can do for your long-term vitality. If you found this information helpful, consider how much more there is to explore regarding the mechanics of aging. We have only scratched the surface of how simple, scientific changes can drastically improve your quality of life. Keep watching, stay curious, and continue to prioritize your health. You're the architect of your own well-being. Look at your feet with new appreciation today. They have carried you this far, and with the right care, they will continue to support you for many years to come. Take the time to apply what you have learned, and notice the change in how you feel after just a few days of better habits. Thank you for taking this step towards a more mobile and active future. Your future self will thank you for the effort you are putting in today. Stay strong, keep walking with purpose, and always stay informed about the health of your foundation.